What a beautiful, beautiful day to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. What a beautiful day for a drive. If you watched last time on Save the Stang Part 2, we fixed the bumper and, well, we fixed the purge valve. So before we get to work on sanding, we want to take a little drive, enjoy a little bit before it's going to be down for a little bit. So we're going to take her up to the detail garage in Weatherford. I need a little bit of advice. I need someone who can look at the paint and tell me what to do. We have some imperfections in the roof. Some little swirls we need to get taken care of. I need some expert help though. Without further ado though, thank you so much for swinging by. I really appreciate you being here. I'm really excited with how this car is turning out. We got a whole bunch more to do though. First though, detail garage, cold start. So I've talked to a few guys now about the future plan of action with this and how to get some of those small little like pigtail scratches out. I just stopped by the detail garage and they agree that we need to step it up a little bit and go with a heavier cutting compounding pad. So we're going with the yellow one, which is the heaviest one they got. Hopefully this can get some of these little scratches out of there. So also big shout out to Bryce Mason. He's a detailer down in the Central Texas area. He's really helping me out with this. If you need any detailing done, there's a link down in the description below. So we're gonna give this a shot and do compounding and polishing one more time, at least on the roof, and then maybe on the trunk. Yeah, I don't know if we can save much of that. So big shout out to the guys at the Weatherford Detail Garage. You guys rock burgers. What do you think?
Gotta do it.
Burgers the move?
Burgers the move.
Let's go, man. Burgers, definitely a good move. Gotta say, after this, after we crush this burger, sanding. It's gonna be great. Yeah, it's just gotta be one of the most graceful angles I've ever seen, bro. God, majestic.
Yeah.
I started a little bit on working some sanding. You can see the original color of the bumper was actually red, which it doesn't really fit the car. This is gonna take a really long time. So here's the plan. Right now we're hitting it with like 120, 140 grit sandpaper just to get that top layer of spray paint off the bumper. Then we're gonna move to 300 grit sandpaper. Then we're gonna move, probably finish with 600 grit sandpaper before we lay down our primer and then our black and then clear coat. So same process as last time we tried to do this bumper, but we're gonna do it right this time. So it'll turn out nice. So yesterday, I did this section right here by hand, and it took a really long time. This section right here, I did with the nifty sanding thingy, which is probably the incorrect sander for the job, but it might speed things up a little bit. Either way, I'm anticipating the sanding taking a day, 2 days, and we haven't even begun to think about the back bumper yet. So it's gonna take a minute. One piece at a time though, we'll get it all done. But let's get to work with sanding because, like I said, it's gonna take a long time. We're revising the plan just a little bit. So, I mean, it's the problem with this sander is it's gonna take a really long time. And we have this one, which we got for the wet sanding. So we're gonna get some like heavy duty sandpaper for this sucker and give it a shot, see if it'll make things faster. We went to Harbor Freight and we got some 150 grit sanding discs. This is what we're gonna use on the DA sander. I already tested out a little section and this took about 2 seconds. So this is gonna work really well. Well, would you look at that? We were making some really good progress on this bumper. That sander does a heck of a job. So we're not getting it all the way down to the plastic. We just want to get all the spray paint on, down to the factory paint, sand a little into that so we have a good surface to start on. It's looking pretty dang good so far. So this is just the 150 grit. Let's gotta remember we're going over this with 2 more kinds of sandpaper. So this side is almost there. Still gotta do this side, and of course, all the little intricate stuff. That's all up in here, which has to be done by hand, but good progress. Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is the new Tinder profile. I just gotta get a Tinder now. I don't particularly enjoy that, but we're getting there. Also,
wear long sleeves. Do as I say, not as I do. 100% transparency. I would be lying if I said I was having a good time with this. Sanding, I've had enough of sanding. I never want to see sandpaper ever again in my life. That being said, we're getting there. We're almost done. I just finished hitting it with the 320 grit sandpaper. Now we're gonna step it up. I think at 500. Really, I want to be using 400. 500 is what they got though. Finally, thank God, we are done sanding. We are done sanding. It's a big relief. We just wiped it down with some rubbing alcohol to get everything off, to get it all clean. It looks ready to paint. I'm not gonna say it looks good. So first off, we're hitting it with some primer. We're gonna do 3 coats of primer, 3 coats of black, and then 3 coats of clear coat. And hopefully it turns out better than last time. The coats of primer are done. We have 3 coats on here. So we're gonna go ahead and wet sand this really quick. You can see there's some little bitty like imperfections, I guess, if you call it in there. Not quite as smooth as I like it. And we learned this lesson before last time. So we could either wait 15 minutes to wet sand, 3 hours to dry sand. So we're gonna wet sand. It's my favorite thing in the world. All right, so we went ahead and wet sanded with 500 grit. Again, you're supposed to use 400. I don't think it's gonna make a difference. Now we're going for our first coat of black, and then we can do clear, and hopefully this sucker turns out pretty good. In typical fashion, we're running out of daylight. So we're gonna go ahead and finish it. We're gonna go ahead and get 2 more coats of the black on. We're gonna get some thicker coats on there. First coat, we're just doing a light coat. Wait half an hour, then put the clear on, and then it has to cure for 24 hours before you can wet sand it with 5,000 grit to kind of take away some orange peel. And then compound and polish. So we're gonna catch y'all tomorrow after, hopefully, it's looking really, really good. Well, I don't even know where to begin. It's been a couple days. I'm sorry, life got busy. I had a track meet. I wasn't able to work on it. We got the bumper painted, but it's not where we want it to be. So here she is. As you can see, not a very shiny finish because we don't have a good surface, and that is pretty much 100% my fault. I think there's a couple things going on here. Number 1, did it outside. It was a little breezy. That might have had something to do with it. Number 2, I think we were spraying a little too far away. So what happens when you spray too far away? Paint has a chance to dry a little bit before it actually reaches the surface. That's what causes this weird like granulated surface kind of sandpaper kind of finish. That's because you have dried paint actually hitting it instead of it being like a wet coat. So that's the situation. There is hope. So you can see I sanded this down. It came a lot shinier, still not where we want it by any means. So here's the plan. Sand it down to this, all the way around. Go over it again with the 500 grit sandpaper. Do 1 thick wet coat of paint on there, which should be better. We're gonna do it in the garage this time. We're just gonna cover it, bite the bullet, just because we need this to be right. We're gonna hit it that 1 quick coat, another coat of clear, wait 24 hours, and then hopefully it turns out better. Okay, I think we're finally good to go this time. We sanded the whole thing with 500 grit sandpaper. It feels a lot better. It's smooth as you can get with 500 grit sandpaper. We just wiped it down with rubbing alcohol. So I think we're ready to go. This car has been a lot of trial and error, trying to learn and make progress, which is totally okay, totally expected. It's all part of the process, all part of the learning. With that though, let's hope that this rendition, after some learning, is a lot better. I'm already liking the way this is turning out so much better. So I applied it on a lot thicker. Obviously there's no wind in here, which helps, but I think we might be able to save this. For that first little coat down, really, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. So the plan is we're gonna do probably 1 more coat. I only have 1 more can of spray paint left. So 1 more coat, 1 more nice thick coat on there. If it turns out a little even shinier than this, I think we're gonna be okay. I'm liking how it's turning out. It's a lot better than we did the outside. So either way, this is gonna be an improvement. This is what we're looking for. 2 coats down, and we're not looking too bad. I really wanna do another coat on this thing. See, we're kind of getting a sheen shining through, thankfully. I really want to do another coat. I'm out of spray paint though, so we're gonna go grab at least a can more. I want to get one really good thick wet coat down, then let it dry for half an hour, then put the clear on. Then we'll be good. Alrighty, we are done. We have got all the coats of paint on there. We've got the clear on there. Now it's just a matter of letting it dry. I'm not too upset with how this is turning out, I'll be honest. You can see right away. There's some reflection action going. It's still cloudy, it's not perfect. We haven't compounded, we haven't polished, we haven't wet sanded, so it's not perfect yet. That being said though, this is a lot better than what we were dealing with prior to this whole situation. So I really, for spray painting in my garage, I can't be too upset. So I'm really pleased with how this is turning out. I already compounded one side of the bumper, and it's very acceptable for spray painting in the garage. We'll be able to see more when we get it out on the car, but look at that. That's really not too bad. Haven't done this side. You see it's still kind of rough. This side is really smooth. So we're gonna go ahead and compound this side, at least the top portion, probably the side. Then we're gonna throw it on the car, and then we'll go ahead and polish it on there. This is gonna be so much better than what we had. I'm super stoked. I'm glad we went back and kept going to try to get it right. That compounding really makes such a big difference with how smooth the paint is. It feels awesome. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna compound the rest of the bumper, then we're gonna throw it on the car, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. I'm super excited to see it out in the sunlight on the car. I think this is gonna be a really good deal. This process has taken way longer than it should have, than it was supposed to, but alas, we are finally here. It's not perfect, let alone we did it with spray paint in the garage, but man, it looks so much better. It is so awesome to just see how far we've come with this car. I mean, the bumper was a good representation. The bumper started out, it was red, and then we spray painted it poorly to make it black, and now we finally redid it to where it's at least a decent job of black. Now that it's actually kind of shiny and looks good, it really makes me think we need some Cobra fogs in there and a chin spoiler. So that's coming soon. So this bumper project has been long and drawn out. It really started like a year ago when we got the car, we painted it the first time and did a terrible job. So it goes to show you, you have to be tenacious and you have to stick with things, and you have to really want it enough to fail and enough to learn from it and go try again and fail again and then do it again, mostly right. That's what it's all about. You have to be willing to put in the hours, put in the work, and it's really gonna pay off. That doesn't go for cars, it goes for your life. You put into work to perfecting your life. You're not gonna get there, but you might get pretty gosh dang close. So with that, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. The reveal, full reveal, is gonna be so sick. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed the video, please give her a big ol' thumbs up. And until next time, y'all always keep it classy, and I'll catch y'all real soon.